Yeah, we will win.
Do you believe that we will win? Do you believe it? You're damn right we believe it. I believe it because I see it. I see a whole room of winners. I see a city of champions built by champions. Every person in this room is a champion. Every person in this room has given their blood, their sweat, and their tears for this city. That's what makes us great. It's our people. We are here tonight to look back on the year that we've had together, to celebrate the victories that we've had, recognizing the challenges, overcoming those challenges to be winners, to be champions. I don't know about you, but my daddy raised me to be a winner. And if you'll excuse me for 1 minute, Pops, if you are watching, if you can hear me, one more win for you tonight. Ogden City, the beautiful people of our town, we are at a great time in our history. We didn't pick that walk-up song by accident. We picked it because we know that winning is a mindset. Winning is a spirit and an ethos. Winning doesn't mean that other people lose. Winning for us means that we see a standard and that we strive to beat it. We strive to overcome the standard that might be set by others until we are the standard that others strive for. Right, Marcus? As we reflect back and look forward, remember the winner's mindset. More than 1 year ago, we were in this same exact room. Because love can make you do damn crazy things. Like agreeing to run for mayor, asking your wife for that support, and her love for me giving it to me. That night, we had no idea what we were in store for, did we? But we made it to that point with one simple promise, that we would put people before politics, that we would prioritize the service of others. Service to others is service to God. People are what matter. It's not about projects. It's not about bricks and mortar. It's about the people that will live and work inside the bricks and mortar, inside the projects. That's the thing that matters. So tonight you're going to see a theme. It's a theme about people. It's a looking back on the year that we had and how we put people first and how we made it happen and how we're going to use that to spring forward into our future. Shortly after winning that night, before we knew it, we were at Inauguration Day. My wife and I, Janie, sat in our kitchen counter and wrote that 100-day plan, a blueprint for Ogden for our first 100 days. We were very structured on how we were going to spend our time. And we made sure that that time was spent connecting with you, the people that we serve. Again, putting people at the center of our prioritization. When we reported back on the results of our work, people were surprised. They said, hey, they actually did what they said they were going to do. These were the meetings that we had with our partners, reconnecting with you, listening to the challenges that were before you, listening to how we could help, listening to what was needed in order to learn, to lift, and to love. We engaged the community. We spoke at a number of events. We met with the media and rekindled relationships there. And we had a lot of work to do because the legislature kicked off 2 weeks into our tenure. And that's a pretty heavy lift. But I'm proud to say that that work didn't end at the 100-day mark. We continued on. If you ask anybody in the staff, they have a running joke. They call me Benergy. And now you know that there's employees in the crowd because they're laughing because they've heard it. Maybe they mean it in jest sometimes when they're frustrated that this guy just won't stop. But I think they mean it positively because the energy that we're creating in this city is real. You can feel it in the city, and it's the energy that drives us forward. And it's the energy that comes from the people that are driving us forward, right? We had our work cut out for us internally. These are all the things that we've done, not all of them, a sampling of them. Every day, you guys all have a workforce of 700 employees grinding for you. And that's how we're able to make things happen like the Marshall White Center. Now, what you wouldn't know that I want to share with you is the experience that I've had watching the people that are making that happen. What you don't know is that it has taken the blood, sweat, and tears of our employees to make this go. It's not just a building. They're putting everything they have into it. They've been working on programming to make sure that we fill the space with the programs that our kids need and our families are driving for. That when we open, that this center welcomes our community with art that graces the walls, that represents everybody in our city. They did it by reaching out to people, hearing what you want in your center, and then they worked to make it happen. What I'm sharing with you, everyone, is the deepest love for our city. And that's what love does. It makes us do crazy things. Love is what brought all of us here tonight. Love for this city, love for each other, love for the work that we do, who we do it for, where we do it, and why we do it. Again, the love that we share creates the energy. It's the energy that drives us forward. In the first week of May, we'll be celebrating the opening of this center. We're not just celebrating the opening of the center, we're celebrating a community coming together and making it happen. That's a lot to celebrate. And we're going to celebrate the relationship between our police officers and the legacy of Doc Marshall White, Officer Marshall White, Detective Marshall White. What you wouldn't know if I didn't tell you is that when we interviewed for a new police chief in this city, one of the questions was, why Ogden? And I won't share the answer to that for the chief that we chose, Chief Jake Suby, but it was damn personal as to why Ogden. And I said, what do you want your legacy to be? What mark do you want to leave? And he talked of two things. He talked about the history and the legacy of our department. And he talked about the history and the legacy of Marshall N. White and how he wants his legacy, and as a result, our legacy, to be the connection between our police department and our youth. And this is the project that's going to make it happen. It's more than bricks and mortar. It's about the people that energize the space, do the work to make it a community. A city is a collection of buildings. A community is a collection of people that populate the buildings, build the programs that Ed is working on, making sure that the legacy that our police department has is honored and respected. That's the difference. Some of you might have noticed a tower of concrete coming out of the middle of our downtown. If I had $1 for every time someone asked me, well, that building's going to be ugly. That's not what you're looking at. This is just the beginning. This is the interior parking structure of one of the biggest developments in the history of Ogden City. This is the Wonder Block. This parking structure will be wrapped with residential, retail, grocery, hotel. It's going to bring vibrancy to our city. And what you wouldn't know if I didn't tell you is that there were employees from every department of our city working to make this thing happen. It took every discipline that we had, from legal to public services, engineering, inspection, economic development, police, fire, administration. Everybody contributed to make that happen. Finance. It takes a team in order to make it happen. When we started, we may not have been a team, but today I am proud to report that at your city hall, you have a team of people looking out for you, and you don't have to just believe what I say. Things like this are proof. What might not be the sexiest project of all, but is absolutely the most critical of all, is that we have clean, reliable drinking water. Yes. Who are we without water? This is a picture almost 100 years ago, maybe more, of the original pipeline that feeds the water to our entire city and beyond. We at Ogden City, with the help of the United States government, the state of Utah, the Utah legislature, and our partners locally, put together a capital stack of $100 million to rebuild and replace the oldest pipe in our entire community, the pipe that provides life for all of us, a pipe that goes underneath Pineview Reservoir. Imagine the logistics of replacing such a thing. Do you think that could happen if we don't have a team of people across all disciplines doing the work to make sure it happens? Having a finance team that works to help develop the capital stack, with a legal department that supports them in finding and structuring the agreements to make them work for Ogden, and a public works department that understands what it takes to operate a barge, to put a pipe under a reservoir without stopping in the delivery of the service of water to you. That's a big deal. And in this year, in 2024, your Ogden City team of employees made it happen. '20th Street. If anybody drove down 20th Street in the last few years, I'm sorry for the car repairs. I'm not going to pay for them. But if you've driven down it recently, you'll notice that it's brand new. And what you might not know, if I didn't tell you, is that there was employees working to make sure that that $3.5 million project was built and paid for with other people's money. It's not a joke. It's a fact. With the help of partners, especially the Wasatch Front Regional Council. Andrew Gruber, where are you? There you go. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Councilmember White, who spends her days working for the Wasatch Front Regional Council. And thank you to the engineers and public works department and the finance department and the legal department and the employees, the army of employees that you have to make $3.5 million project happen without coming out of your pockets directly. This is a ribbon cutting at the airport. I came in and I gave a hug to an airport user. If anybody pays attention in this city, you would know that the airport has been a little bit of a challenge. It's been more than a challenge, you guys. It's been the hardest thing that we've worked on since I became mayor. That picture of me hugging Janie, my wife, we celebrated that night, and the next morning, the very first phone call I made was to Representative Katie Hall, who had run the legislation that tipped off and started the legislative audit that would inform our future at the airport. I thanked her for that audit, and I asked her, where do we begin? That's how long we've been working on it. It was the first thing. And we begin with people. It always comes to people. And we were shall I say, enemies at that time. And I'm proud to tell you now that having a win like this, cutting a ribbon at the airport to welcome a world-class FBO to our airport that provides the kind of services that airlines, general aviation, and executive jet services require, they don't come to an airport because they're taking a gamble. They come to an airport because they see something. They see a future and they see potential. They lead the industry in those trends. They don't invest their time and their money for nothing. They invest their time and their money in winners. So if you know anything about Ogden, you know that we're a city of winners and a city of champions. And we've got a world-class FBO nav flight coming to Ogden because they believe in our ability to win. And they see wins in our future. And we are joined tonight by a number of airport users and stakeholders who used to be not friendly. They are our closest friends and closest allies today because the paradigm has changed. It's no longer us telling you, it's us asking you, what do you need to succeed? It's a paradigm centered around people. Big things are coming for Ogden's airport. It has always deserved it, and we are setting ourselves up for success because we're putting people first. And this is proof. So is proof of breaking ground on a new commercial terminal for our airport. Again, 95% of that money was someone else's money. Yeah, right? Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah! Thank you. We use words like that because we're Ogden, we're different. And I'm only mayoral in Ogden, I promise you that. You know what else we've done? Is this city has lived for far too long on an outdated plan. A plan that dictates the terms of our physical environment, our built environment, for years to come. And we've been outdated for a long, long time. So we have been working on a general plan update that is generational in its impacts. Generational. It's going to tell us how we build our future. It's going to build all of the bricks and mortar we talked about. And we want to make sure we create it in a way that invites all of you guys inside those buildings, on those streets, in those parks, on those sidewalks, to make it go, to make it Ogden. We have listened to people. Every single time we have had an event, we have had explosive participation from the community. And it's not because of us, it's because of Ogden. It's because we love this town. We love the city. And people show up for Ogden. They show up for each other. That's what sets us apart. What you wouldn't also know if I didn't tell you tonight is that there are faces and names to the people doing this work. This is a small team from our public services department, engineers, inspectors, technicians, doing work for you. And one of the things that we did as a team is we challenged each other to look introspectively, to look at the way that we're serving others. And how are we serving one another and making sure that we support one another in the work that you guys need. On our second floor, we have a collection. It was intended and dreamed to be a one-stop shop. That's where we have all of our business licensing, building permits. All of the things that make this city go are in that floor. Inspections, etc. Bring them all into one place. We've heard from you that it doesn't feel like a one-stop shop. We challenged this team to give us their input, and I'm happy to say that they didn't grumble about it. They embraced it. They said, we want to innovate. We want to collaborate. We want to serve. And they came up with some things that we did and that we're working on. And I'll tell you that this kind of a thing is iterative, to serve better every day. We have set a policy of 24-hour responsiveness to everybody that reaches out. A sundown rule. Within 24 hours of hearing from you, you're going to hear back from us. We are starting to promote concept review meetings, which is an opportunity for anybody that wants to do business and build in our city, that we're going to bring every discipline around the table and make them available to you to get input and feedback as to what it's going to take to succeed and to have success in our city building a business. We're going to make all of our business licenses online. Surprisingly, we've been antiquated doing it with paper. They don't love it. They want to innovate. And we're going to make sure that our review process and documentation is comprehensive, which is based on the feedback that we heard from the businesses and the people of Ogden. We challenged them to find ways to improve, and they reached out to the city of business owners, the city of people that make these things work, including the people that have had success and the people that have had challenges, and asked for their input. What can we do better? These are the things that we heard, and those are the things that we're going to do. Again, the paradigm shifts. It starts with the people that we serve. We are the servants of the city. We're promoting customer feedback. We want to know how we did. We've been doing this. Did you know that our feedback has been at a rate of 1%? 1% of all users are giving us their input on how we're performing. And so we often find where we don't meet expectation, we find that online. We find it in a city council meeting. We find it in ways that are not very constructive. In fact, sometimes they're very destructive. And what you wouldn't know if I didn't tell you is that we've got a team of people that want to know. They don't need to wait until it's in the headlines or at social media. These are people that care deeply. They want to know. And we're asking for you to tell them. I'm asking for you to view us as a partner. Michael, can you help me advance? Here we go. Within the context of putting people first, we also need to be mindful of our spirit of abundance. We are a city that doesn't care where a good idea comes from. If it's a good idea, we put it in place. When I ran for mayor, I ran against a man who had a really good idea. He called it 311. He said, our city needs to have a customer service interface built on AI, built on innovation, that answers the questions that people have for us. And in so doing, we can better serve them, and we can start to gather data and information in our spirit of innovation to find out what it is people want from us. So I'm happy to announce that today, and it was a lot of work for a lot of people across every department, many of whom are in this room tonight to make it happen. When you go on our website, if you look at the bottom right, you'll see a button that says Archie. There's nothing more iconic in our city than that arch that goes across Washington Boulevard. It's a toss-up between that and Union Station are our icons. And we did a contest within ourselves, and we call it Archie. It is an AI bot, data-driven customer service portal for you. Starting today, if you have questions, start there. I know I did. I asked it today. Is the Ogden City Mayor a good dude? Turns out, the jury's still out. It said, I'm not sure. Because nowhere on our website does it say, Ben Nadolski is a good dude. This mines all of the information from our website and puts it at your fingertips. If there's answers on our website and in our systems, this will find it for you and put it at your fingertips. This is an easy way for you to connect and an easy way for you to be served. If you haven't noticed a theme, maybe you're not paying attention. But the theme is people. The theme is the people that make things work. But again, don't take my word for it. I challenge you to see it for yourself. Michael, tee us up, brother. Pay careful attention to the people, the faces that make it work. If you don't get goosebumps seeing and believing in this city, you wouldn't be here tonight. I know we're unified in our love for the city. Unity does not mean agreeing. It's okay to disagree. But we always need to remember that we are unified in our love for this town. And the accolades and the completions, the wins, don't stop there. I asked my department directors to give me a brief report, highlights only, of the wins. There were so many we couldn't even share them all. This is what they said. They're so excited about the work they do. They want to share in the victories. They want you to love this city and to love in those wins. I wish I could share them all. Imagine how boring the presentation would be. But it's not just me that's noticing. It's the world that knows. The world is coming to Ogden and to Utah in 2034. Right? The Ogden-Clearfield metro area was recently recognized as the #2 performing economy in the entire United States. I had the privilege to fly to Washington, D.C. and represent this entire greater Ogden community of dozens of cities, multiple counties, in this great state of Utah, to represent what we believe, what we are. We talked about the Utah way. They want to know, what is the secret sauce that makes Utah so great? We are the #1 state in the nation. Make no mistake. We are a state of champions. We are a state of winners. So when you ask me, do I believe if we will win? You're damn right I believe, because we are winning. We win and champion our women leaders. We champion and celebrated 100 years of our Union Station. We are now a National Park Service, World War II heritage city. We celebrate our history. We stand on the shoulders of giants. And one day, for all you kids in this room, you'll stand on our shoulders. And it's up to us to be the giants that you need and that you deserve to emulate in your future. Because nobody does this alone. Ski Magazine, recognizing Snow Basin, #1 ski resort in the US. That's huge news, you guys. We're among the big cities with the best job market. We're the most egalitarian city in the nation. Time and time again, recognized year in and year out, the most egalitarian city in the country. Meaning that we have access to upward mobility in ways that no other city does. But it doesn't happen by itself. We have to put in the work. We have to create an environment that puts opportunities before our people. And we have to do the work to connect our people with those opportunities. I just came from a basketball game. I'm really proud of how my daughter played. But I saw unequal access to opportunities, and that cannot stand. We have to act deliberately. There are kids in our community that are struggling. We can celebrate every accolade that we win, all we want, but no number and no accolade means anything if we aren't recognizing the challenges of our families and our future, our youth. We have to understand that we've got families in this city that are struggling to put food on the table, struggling to find hope. I met with the Black Student Union of Ben Lomond High School. They're here today, now called the Urban Student Alliance. And what they told me, they said, Mayor, the #1 challenge is that our student body is losing hope. There are too many people among us, too many kids and too many families that are losing hope in their future. I believe that we can win, but we We do have kids that don't. And that's a shame. Shame on us. It's up to all of us to wrap our arms around those children, make them be seen. What is it, John? Listen to these children, love them, and lift them. That's our responsibility, right? Which brings us to the state of our city and the reason we are here tonight. I am incredibly proud to report that the state of our city is impeccably strong. A city is only as strong as its people. Its people are only as strong as their mindset. A city is only as strong as our bonds and our love for one another. And that's why I know that we are strong. That's why I know the state of this city matters. And I know that we're champions because I know how much you care. It's not okay to have those children losing hope in our city. But we're still strong because we have a strong will to help, a strong will to serve. I'm also proud to report that in the last year, in 2024, your 700 employees dug deep to serve and work for one another. They became a team in everything that they did. And they did that work because sometimes there's things that happen in our city where they have to be a team. And I think we all owe the Ogden City Fire Department a standing ovation for what they did. When a tragedy in our city happens, you can't go back and say, oh shoot, we gotta hurry and act like a team. No, you're counting on us to be a team. We're counting on Ogden Fire Department to be the best trained, best equipped, most high-performing department possible. Because we need them to stand between the flames that put our city at risk and the rest of our downtown. We have men and women of our fire department and our police department that are doing it for you every day. What you wouldn't know if I didn't tell you is that there is pain and struggle within those departments in order to meet the needs of our city. It's hard work that requires hard men and women of vigor, of mental toughness. Those men and women, I promise you, are the best in the state of Utah and beyond. Ogden Fire, Ogden Police. We have the best performing police and fire departments in the state of Utah, hands down. When a tragedy happens in our city, like happened with the fire last week, when you're the mayor, you want to go down there and be supportive, but you don't want to be a distraction. I was trying to take a nap, to be honest. My wife woke me up and she said, hey, babe. And she held up the phone and she said, the city is on fire. Her exact words. So we'll work on the delivery for the next time. So we rush downtown, again, not wanting to be a distraction because the men and women of Ogden Fire, they're pretty busy. What I can encounter is the perimeter. What I encounter with the men and women of Ogden Police Department, protecting the people because the heat that was coming off the fire was so great. They had already backed up the perimeter because it was going to hurt people, melt cars, etc. An enormous crisis unfolding. I went to every perimeter that I could reach and talked to the officers. Do you know what they told me? They said, Mayor, you wouldn't believe the heroics of your fire department. Our police department, men and women of OPD, bragged about our firefighters. They said, they are the best. You wouldn't believe what we've witnessed today. As we watched them surround that fire and put it out, they kept it from burning down our downtown. They are as good as it gets. And that is why the state of this city is strong. The state of our city is strong because the men and women of Ogden are strong. Because the men and women of Ogden have a mindset of strength, of resilience, of grit and determination. That's what makes us strong. That's the year that we had, but what are we going to do with the progress that we've made? What are we going to do to capitalize on momentum? This is where we introduce something that we call the Ogden Way. Now, the Ogden Way is more than a slogan. It's an ethos. It's a spirit that's within us. The Ogden Way is also a framework that allows us all to work collaboratively, all toward the same goals. No more competing with each other. No more fighting with each other. The Ogden Way is a framework that allows us to fight for one another, with each other, in the same direction. Again, it doesn't mean that we all agree. Unity does not mean agreement. But unity does mean that we care enough to fight for something. And I know that we are unified in our willingness and our desire to fight for Ogden. The Ogden Way is also a standard. It's a standard that we strive for. It means that we serve others. We do it with integrity. We do it with grit and determination. We do it for the love of our city. And we know that there's going to be things that don't go well. And when they don't go well, we look back to the Ogden Way and say, what are we supposed to make of it? And it gives us the roadmap on how to do it. The Ogden Way is not perfect. Now, as your mayor, I get the amazing opportunity, the blessing to be a leader within the organization of 700 employees and externally on behalf of 90,000 residents. I get to be in that building on the 9th floor, leading an army of champions, serving in the direction and on a mission on behalf of 90,000 champions outside our city, outside of our building. The Ogden Way is a framework of success that brings all of us together, starting with a mission for our workforce, a mission for our 700 people. Our mission is, as employees, that we are fueled by a champion's drive and an unwavering commitment to service. We innovate and collaborate to overcome challenges, foster opportunities, and create an environment for our people, businesses, and partners to earn success. I call your attention to the service, to the innovation, to collaboration, to help foster opportunities and create an environment for people to succeed. As individuals, as organizations, as business, our job is to help facilitate success, not to stand in the way, to facilitate it through service. Maybe a paradigm shift for some, but I'm here to tell you that it's not a big shift for our staff. They're hungry to do it. But a mission for our 700 employees isn't good enough unless it's paired with a vision for our 90,000 people. The Ogden Way, through all of the feedback that we've heard from the community, through our general plan process, through the campaign, through all of those meetings that we listed, when we sat and met with all of our anchor institution leaders and citizens of our city, we asked them, what do you need to succeed? They need access to opportunities. So the vision of our community and for our people is a safe and vibrant community. A community of opportunity where you and I grow, connect, and succeed. You and I, us, where we grow, where we commit ourselves to a constant pursuit of greatness and growth, Greatness is not an endpoint, it's a journey. And it happens every day within ourselves and with each other. Where we connect, we've got to create opportunities and connect people with those opportunities. Remember the ball game I mentioned? There were kids on one of those teams that didn't have access to the same opportunities as some of the other kids did. It's our responsibility to connect those kids with those opportunities because those kids deserve an opportunity to succeed. That's only one example of the work ahead. And we have to do it as an army of people and leaders in this community, connecting people with opportunities because everybody deserves a chance to succeed. Everybody deserves a chance to earn success, to do the work within themselves, to be their best. And when I rise, I lift others. A spirit of abundance, a mindset of abundance. That's why we are a city of service through our mission and a community of opportunity. The Ogden Way framework brings our citizens of 90,000 together with our employees of 700 in harmony and in alignment to the same things. No more competing. It's us. What you don't know, unless I tell you, is that this room is full of citizens and employees. It's not citizens on one side and employees on the other. You're all intermixed together. Some of you might know that, some of you might not. But that's the point. It's not us against you or you against anyone. It's us against the world. Are we winners? You're damn right we are. But the Ogden Way has got more than just a mission and a vision. It's got the fundamentals. There are 7 fundamental principles, pillars of human success built within the Ogden Way framework, starting with safety. How could anybody possibly have access to success if they don't have a safe environment? And it's more than just police and fire. What about public works and the engineers that make our roads work, that make the lights turn yellow, red, and green? Safety is the responsibility of all of us. Education and access to lifelong learning. K through 12 education. Opportunities for scholarships and for college degrees. But college isn't for everybody. What about the trade school? What about certifications for workforce development? What about opportunities to just continue to learn through lifelong learning? Any community that wants to create an environment of success and access to opportunities has to have access to education. Stable neighborhoods. A neighborhood is different for everybody. Everybody deserves to have a place where they can live, regardless of their socioeconomics, a place that they can afford. It's connected with each other, with your neighbors, with your parks, with your houses of worship, and with your schools. You need access to a vibrant and rich economy that meets you where you're at. An economy that works for you, that you get to participate in, so that you can earn the wage that you need to live the kind of life that you deserve. It's strong infrastructure. When you turn on your tap, we all hope water comes, right? Well, I'm thankful that we have a $100 million pipeline on the way to make sure that happens. Healthy and active lifestyles. If you really want to survive, not just survive, but thrive, we have to be mindful of our health. We have to be active outdoors, in open space, with one another. Meaningful connections with each other is where we really become a community. These are the pillars of human success. These are the fundamentals, the details behind the Ogden Way. And in the coming year, we are going to dive into each of these fundamentals, and we're going to create metrics. We're going to create and quantify a baseline for our city. And then we're going to set targets that we're going to reach every year. And we're not just going to reach them by ourselves. We're going to reach them with others alongside us. It's not good enough to just have a city of employees aligned with one another. Imagine the transformational power of aligning our city with our community. I'm thankful that through the partnership of the United Way, as well as the Ogden Civic Action Network and the Weber Morgan Health Department, who are already working on meeting the needs of the social determinants of health for our city and for our broader community, that we are going to lay the foundation with them and overlay the Ogden Way with the social determinants of health to make sure that we as a community are all rowing in the same direction moving forward. And when we do that, we set a table for our partnerships as an entire city. That's the work ahead in 2025. So in 2024, we set a standard. We set an expectation. I'm here tonight setting a direction. In 2025, we're going to set the table so that we can set a baseline for our city. When we set that table, I promise you in 2026 and beyond, we are going to set records as a community. We are a city.
Ogden is more than a city. We're a community, and a community is a commitment to one another. Through our spirit of service and grit, we get to come together and to create the kind of community that we envision for ourselves and for each other. That is the Ogden Way.
In Ogden, there are opportunities for everyone, whether it's helping young people prepare for their futures or adults for their present by establishing new goals and skill sets.
In Ogden, we work tirelessly to create a secure and vibrant environment for all our residents and visitors.
From emergency response to community outreach, we're building a place where everyone feels protected and at home.
Our neighborhood feels like home because it's built on pride and connection.
Whether it's through housing we can afford or having the community as our neighbors.
Infrastructure is the backbone to our city, from safe roads to reliable water systems to broadband access. Ogden is investing in systems that keep us running effectively and reliable.
Ogden is a city where businesses can flourish. As a local business owner, I have the support and innovation for growth. Our entire community benefits because businesses like mine are given opportunity.
I know staying active is important.
And we got everything we need to do it. Parks, recreation programs, and opportunities to thrive physically and mentally.
Ogden is about creating spaces where people come together. With our events, art, and shared experiences, we find connection and belonging. It's not just about being here. It's about being a part of something bigger. This is where my community thrives. Here in Ogden, education and growth is the heart of our community.
Raising our family in Ogden is our chance to thrive. Your safety will always be our priority.
My community helps me grow stronger, healthier, and live fully.
We want to be there with you and for you as you create that connection and as you grow and invest in yourself. We want to invest in you too. We want you to invest in us as well. And that's what makes us a community. That is the Ogden Way.
As we wrap up tonight, I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you and call you to action. Scan this QR code, go to this website, engage in the Ogden Way, find out more about what the Ogden Way is, find out how you can connect and how you can participate. Download episodes of our new podcast, The Ogden Way. Listen to the stories of our people, the stories of grit and determination, the stories that happen in our cities and on our streets, including the story of Billy Schuffenauer, silver medalist bobsledder, here with us tonight, who grew up in the streets of this city under the worst of circumstances, the hardest of circumstances. And did he give up? Hell no, he didn't give up. He went on to win a silver medal because that's what we do. There are Billy Schuffenauers in our city right now. Somewhere in our city is a gold medal kid. In our city and in our schools, in our home, on our streets, and we're going to find that child. We're going to support him with everything we got, right? Because that's what we do. Go to this website and get engaged. Share the Ogden Way. Talk about what it means for you. Share your story. There's a way to submit your story and to request to be on the podcast, where you can share your story and we get to learn from your lessons and your experiences, like we did with Dolores Banks Green, didn't we? We learn from each other. We grow with one another. This is our opportunity to be great. We are a city of champions. We are a city of winners. We are a gold medal city because we are a city of service and a community of opportunity. Get involved, get active, and get engaged. because I believe, and I hope you do too, that we will win.
It's not how you fall, it's how you get back up. And what don't kill us make us stronger, boy. Bet that love, take a swing at us. You better hit hard, cause when we swing back, it's like, oh God. It's time to knuckle up and fight hard. Now let's all buckle up and fight hard. Que Dios bendiga a toda tu familia, mi amigo, se falta mandito. Vamos a darle duro este video. Say it with me. I believe, say it with me. But we gon' win the